Hey, this is Brent with Lykins Motorsports. This is, start to say these, but you can't see the other one. This is a Gen 2 5-liter Coyote cylinder head. It's brand spanking new. Both of them are. Um, I used the other heads as cores. They were just nasty, and I just don't like playing that way. If I can help it, the amount of cleaning would have been horrible, and they wouldn't have looked good, and they would have need valve jobs and surfaced and everything on top of that. So this is, in my opinion, the most cost-effective way. On this video, we'll see how far we get. I haven't messed with too many of these, but we're going to try to get a combustion chamber poured. Got pistons on the way, and that way we can use that number to calculate our actual compression ratio. And then we're going to get them disassembled. These cam caps were supposed to have been numbered really well from Ford, and they were not. So what I did is I just put some Prussian blue and then used an engraver to mark them well. I'll do the other head the same way. Got a valve spring compressor, and what this does is mounts to the cam tower and the cam caps using extra bolts, and just allows you to use this with a bolt that hits the top of it, and it will compress the spring and allow me to get the valve locks and everything out. Hopefully I've got a bunch of different spring height mics. Hopefully one of them will work. If not, we're gonna have to order some parts. But in this video, we're gonna get these disassembled and cleaned up. And I've got everything ready to go back. Plan to reuse the factory valve locks and the factory valve seals. Got packed products. These are steel retainers, and got some of their valve springs. These are pretty juicy compared to factory specs, but we're going to be running about a 600 lift cam, and I want to set these up for about 8,500 RPM, so I need to do everything right. Not that I would purposely do anything wrong, but you know how that is. So yeah, let's get I want to get the other head up here and mark our cam caps, and if they're not marked, I'll go ahead and get those blued up and engraved. Okay, a little bit has passed. Got all of our new head, or our other head that hasn't been labeled, and got all those marked and engraved. Got our tool mounted, the proverbial 10mm bolt, and you can see it's a pretty simple tool. The bolt has a ball end, and so does this part of the compressor has a dished end. The bolt just sits in it, and you just tighten it down and get it to where you want, and just start fishing for locks. This is going to be a very tedious process, and I don't intend on showing you all of it, or else you guys will be at home trying to hurt yourself. So I want to get this head disassembled, and then I'll join back with you. All right, I got the first head taken apart. It was wrapped in some plastic. It looks like it's got some junk on the head. I'll have to scrub off, but the seats are really nice from the factory. And I was looking at the intake valves, and they have their back cut. So we got looks like about a 45-degree seat. I could be wrong on that, I'm just eyeballing, but there is a back cut at the top, and a pretty thin little margin. So normally on FE stuff, you know, we're looking at around 140 grams for an intake valve. 54 grams for the intake valve on this one. And usually on the FE, it's anywhere around 110, 120 grams on the exhaust valve. 44 grams on that guy. So these are 6mm stems, okay? You don't get a lot of that in performance stuff, but with, you know, no lifters, no push rods, you don't need a lot of valve, and especially with the head diameters that these have, you don't need a lot of valve. So 6mm stems. Here's the retainer. Here's the factory retainer, 7 grams. And here is a pair of locks, 1.5. So I'll show you what a pair of 11/32. So big difference in part weights, which is why you can really spin these things to the moon and keep everything happy and in control. I had previous thoughts of sending these to be ported, and I know, Joe, that you're probably watching, but I think I'm going to try them without any port work first. These are Gen 2 heads, and from what I've read, they flow somewhere around 320 on the intake side, with about a 65 or 70 degree split on the exhaust. So we'll see how they do. So if I were building, so if you look back at my 310 or 311 cubic inch small block 4 that we did last year, they had, or that engine had about 10, let's see, what did it have? It would run on pump gas. I'm thinking it's around 10.3, 10.4, 10.5 to 1. The heads flowed around 300. So we're looking at that same displacement, pretty much, give or take a few. The heads flow better. The cams are going to be just a little bit bigger. And we're going to be running about 12.5 to 1 compression on this one. So I am really hoping to see some big numbers. The 311 motor, I think it made 530 some horsepower or so. So we'll see what we can do with this one. But let's see, what am I going to do now? Oh, I need to take the other head apart. And first I'm going to see if I can scrub this clean. It's bothering me. And then once I get both heads disassembled, I'll stick them in the washer. One thing I don't like about these modular Ford heads, there's not a flat side on anything. You can't stand them up. You can't lay them down. I guess I could probably lay this one down on, well, no, this part sticks out further than that part. So you're basically, essentially left to lay them down on the deck surface, which I do not like doing at all because it's easy to scratch them. So you got to prop them up against something. Oh well, first world problems, right? All right, so I'm going to get this other head up on the bench. I am going to pour a chamber because like a dummy, I forgot to do it before I took all these apart. And we'll go from there. Went ahead and stuck a plug in this one and jammed the valves back in it. Everything's sealed up good. Valve job is good. Head's nice and flat. We're getting 57.2 on this chamber. Here's the other head, 57.6. So 0.4 of a cc difference side to side. Well, this is the last head disassembly. Here's our new pack retainers. They are, instead of 7.1 grams for the factory, stuff. These are 5.1 grams, so they're 2 grams lighter. Unfortunately, my smallest spring mic won't screw down far enough for me to get the retainer and locks on. So I'm gonna have to find something else that'll work, and unfortunately I think we may have to cut our our video short there. I can't go any further without measuring the install height. I can probably get close by putting retainer on and measuring with my depth part of my calipers, but I don't like getting close. I want to try to get it dead on. So what we'll probably do is knock the valves out of this head and get it washed, get both heads washed, and get a spring mic on the way. I'll tack this onto the end. Rods came in for our Coyote engine. These are Molnar rods, specifically for modular Ford. Stock rod length, a lot lighter and a whole lot stronger than the factory rods. Factory pin diameter and everything. Diamond is doing the pistons for me. Coated skirts and vertical gas ports and some other goodies. So hope to see those soon. Just thought I'd tack this on at the end.